Hey, what's up guys? My name's Brainbean. Thanks for joining me once again. Now you guys have been requesting a comparison video between the Ornata and the Blackwidow Chroma, and in some cases the Blackwidow X. So I decided to go ahead and do a comparison between all three keyboards so that you can get the best representation of which keyboard is right for you. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the keyboards. Let's start by taking a look at the keyboard's overall construction and design. The Ornata Chroma is made entirely of plastic, however it does feel fairly solid, more so than any other membrane keyboard I've used in the past in terms of flex. The Blackwidow Chroma is made up of both metal and plastic, comprised of a metal backplate which is housed in a plastic case. The body of the Blackwidow X is made entirely of metal, making it the most solid of all three keyboards. In terms of design, the Blackwidow has the most classic look. The Blackwidow X has a top plateless design exposing the switches, and the Ornata has mid-height keycaps that appear to float over the keyboard. Each keyboard has its own style of LED indicators as well. The Blackwidow has by far the worst. They're barely recognizable and consist of an LED under the top cover that barely shines through. The Blackwidow X uses green LEDs that illuminate over their respective symbol, which goes with the keyboard's simplistic design. The Ornata has probably the best indicators of the three, which consists of a clearly illuminated symbol. As you can see, these three keyboards have very different styles. No doubt visually, these keyboards will appeal to each of you differently. Looking at the keycaps, the Blackwidow Chroma uses Razer's signature blocky font, which is definitely the most stylized of the three keyboards. The Blackwidow X and the Ornata both use clean minimalistic fonts, which personally is what I prefer. Each keyboard also has its own look in terms of LED lighting. All three keyboards offer 16.8 million color RGB backlighting with per key illumination through Razer's Synapse 2.0 software. Almost all of Synapse's preset lighting effects are available in all three keyboards with a few exceptions. The Ornata has the exclusive effect Fire, which gives the keyboard a very nice looking smolder effect, and also a two-tone version of Starlight, which makes the keys appear to twinkle. The Blackwidow X does not have the fire effect, but it does have the color cycling version of Starlight exclusively. And lastly, the Blackwidow Chroma, as of now at least, does not have either of these effects. The underbody of the Ornata is made up of a somewhat translucent white plastic that accentuates the light. Coupled with the mid-height keycaps, it makes the keys appear to float over a bed of light, and as you can see, it looks pretty stylish. The Blackwidow Chroma is similar to the Ornata in that it has a white backplate underneath the switches to reflect some of the light up through the keyboard while filling in the gaps between the keys with light. The Blackwidow X takes a totally different approach. The black metal backplate doesn't do much to reflect the light, resulting in brilliantly lit keys, but it has much less spilling into the spaces in between them. This makes the Blackwidow X a great option for those who like RGB lighting but don't necessarily want a super bright keyboard that could be potentially distracting. I actually designed a white backplate mod for my Blackwidow X that made it reflect light like the other two keyboards. I'll link that video down in the description if you want to see how I did it. The Blackwidow and the Ornata Chroma, on the other hand, are definitely a better choice if you're mostly concerned with putting on a great light show. Also, something that's worth mentioning is that the Razer logo is illuminated in both variants of the Blackwidow, but is not illuminated in the Ornata, but instead is embossed in the wrist rest. Now, the major difference in these keyboards, of course, is the fact that the Ornata is a membrane keyboard and both Blackwidows are mechanical. I will say that in terms of the new mecha membrane keys, they do give you a better experience than any membrane keyboard I've used in terms of tactile feedback. However, it does not replace the feeling that you get when using a true mechanical keyboard. Here's some things to consider when comparing a mechanical versus membrane. Mechanical keyboards have a much longer lifespan than membrane keyboards. I haven't been able to find any information on the lifespan of the mecha membrane keys, but if they're anything like your typical membrane keyboard, you can expect them to last up to 5 million keystrokes. The average mechanical keyboard lasts 50 to 60 million keystrokes, while Razer's switches boast a slightly skeptical 80 million. Whether Razer's switches ultimately last that long or not, going with a mechanical keyboard will absolutely give you more longevity than a membrane. Mechanical keyboards also don't require you to bottom out the key to register a stroke, while membrane keyboards, including the new mecha membrane keys, require you to bottom out the key. And one advantage the Blackwidow Chroma has over the other two is that you can get it in the Razer Green or Razer Orange switch, allowing you to choose the kind of tactile feedback you like the most. The Blackwidow X and the Ornata are only available with clicky versions. Here's a quick side-by-side sound test of the mecha membrane keys in the Ornata, the green switches in the Blackwidow X, and the orange switches in the Blackwidow Chroma. The actuation force of the mecha membrane keys in the Ornata is not currently published in the keyboard specs, but it feels heavier than Razer's mechanical switches, which have an actuation force of 50 grams for the green version and 45 grams for the orange version. The Ornata feels like it's more around 60 to 65 grams. In terms of extras, the Blackwidow Chroma far exceeds the other keyboards thanks to its 5 dedicated macro keys and the inclusion of a USB and audio pass-through. The Ornata is the only keyboard out of the 3 to come with a wrist rest, which attaches magnetically to the keyboard. The Blackwidow X is the most basic of the 3, with its only main feature being that it has a metal body and a simplistic design. I also find the keycaps on the Blackwidow X to feel a little bit higher quality than that of the Blackwidow. Also, both the Blackwidow X and the Ornata have cable routing systems on the underside of the board. All 3 of these keyboards have a braided USB cable with gold-plated USB connectors. There's also the issue of price. The Ornata Chroma is $100, which is a little bit expensive for a membrane keyboard. The Blackwidow Chroma can be found on Amazon for around $150. Sometimes you can find it considerably cheaper when it's on sale, and the Blackwidow X costs about $160. While the Ornata is cheaper, consider the longevity of a mechanical and the extras that go along with it when deciding if you should pay more and go for the Blackwidow or the Blackwidow X. Before I tell you my opinions, I just want to make it clear that choosing a keyboard is a very personal choice. There are many factors that make a keyboard desirable for someone that are unique to each person. At the end of the day, choosing an experience you enjoy and a look you prefer is always the right choice over what might be considered the best option out there. In my comparison between the 2 Blackwidows, I got hundreds of comments asking which keyboard was better for various things, so I'll try to do my best to give you a few examples of what I think might be the best in certain situations. Hopefully these will help some of you out when trying to decide between the 3. If you're most interested in the brightest, most vibrant LED experience, go with either the Ornata or the Blackwidow Chroma. If you want a clean, premium feeling, professional looking keyboard, then I highly recommend the Blackwidow X. If you want the most features and options, then the Blackwidow Chroma is the only choice that makes sense. If you want the best performance while gaming, then I highly recommend going for one of the Blackwidows because mechanicals are far superior to membrane keyboards. If you want to take it a step further than that, the Blackwidow Chroma with its 5 macro keys will give you an edge in certain styles of games. Well, that's it for the video, guys. Let me know in the comments which keyboard you think is the best pick, and feel free to give me suggestions for comparisons you want to see from me in the future. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it to show your support, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I've got a lot more videos coming your way in the near future. You can also follow me on Twitter at BrainBeanGaming, and as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.